Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Baer, and this is a build stream live on Twitch, recorded later for YouTube, where I do model kits, Lego sets, do all kinds of building, and hang out with the wonderful, fine folks out there on the internet. Board is here in the chat throwing the Bear Cave emote. I'm going to throw the Bear Cave emote and the Bear Cave, the Lego Bear emote out there in chat. Mr. Bob is here as well, throwing the Bear Cave emote in there. Thank you very much. Lashbrook is here. Awesome. We got our regulars here on a Saturday night. We're going to do some building. This is the last official earnest build stream in this slot for, like a week while I go to San Diego next week. Everything's TBD next week. I will hopefully do an actual build stream. I'm still working on finding a venue with a good upload so that next Saturday night I can stream at the normal time. And then next Thursday, I definitely am going to do a hangout where I talk about the first day of San Diego Comic-Con because it'll be my first time going there. So next Thursday, hopefully at the normal time of 9 p.m. Eastern, which will be 6 p.m. Pacific for me, I'll go to my hotel room and do hey, this is what's going on. And then that Saturday, I'll hopefully go to a now undisclosed location and actually stream. I'm bringing a little kit with me that I bought at Toys R Us the day before it closed for good that I can build pretty easily. So I don't need tools to build. So I have something. And that's the hope anyway. But we're going to wait for a few more folks to join us. We already got a good crew already assembled. We got some of our favorites here, and maybe some new faces will be joining us tonight. Who knows? For a Saturday night of building model kits. We are finishing up the God Gundam. We have to do the core lander for that. And then we'll assemble the core lander into the back of the God Gundam. And then we'll start our next kit, which is the Shenlong Gundam. Now, what do I wish I was doing the Dragon Gundam, the Shenlong Dragon version, the two-armed one from Endless Waltz? Yes, the coloring is way cooler because I don't love that the Shenlong looks like your average standard, red, white, blue Gundam. I think it has a lot more character later in the series. But it's still a good one. Xandra, hello, throwing the mouse up in there. Okay, well, sure. I don't know why. I just got a notification of something. Hello, Xandra, and welcome. Let's go to the main feed. Alexandra, I owe you an email. I have been busy. We will talk about things, as you said in your reply to my email. Anyway, yeah, so we got the God Gundam. God Gundam has its normal coloring, as you can see. I assembled it pretty much completely. The head got out of the way here, out of whack, but that's an easy fix. I can fix that very simply and then reattach it. No problem. No, well, yeah, well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for that, Alexander. Yeah. So this is the God Gundam, aka the Burning Gundam. And we got to put the core lander in the back of it. It does have the unique things of its arms move, and that's kind of cool. And the chest piece pops open here for when it's time to burn through someone. But yeah, we got to build the core lander, so let's get to that, and then we can wrap up, which will be the last of the G Gundam builds we'll do for a while, because the Spiegel, which is the German Ninja Gundam, is not easily available. So I don't know when I would get that, but I am in the hunt. Don't worry. I am looking for it. I just don't know when I'll be able to. Xandra says, maybe one of these days I'll buy one of these. Gunpla looks neat. Gunpla looks very neat. It's very fun. I enjoy it very much. You're not dealing with glue as the old days, the old model kit days. This is just snapping. Of course, this God Gundam, as it was the early 2000s model, this kit did involve screws because for a short time Bandai was interested in that. But I would say it's been a while since I chatted about this, so it's always good to kind of talk about it. If you're ever looking to get a model kit, you can get an SD kit, the super deformed, as they call them, a chibi kit, or a high-grade kit. High-grade kit's a great place to start because you could do it with kitchen scissors. You don't need snipper clips like this. You could do it with scissors, and the high grades are big pieces, and always a good place to start. This is the master grade, which is a step up, and it is an early, 2000. I think it's 2001. So it is not the most user friendly of the kits. A kit you buy that's even like a 2015 kit is going to have a lot of English in it. Harold is hosting. Thank you much, Harold. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yes. Oh yeah, there's a Baer Gundam. There's some chibi robot bears. I don't think there's a mouse Gundam, but there's probably definitely a robotic. I mean, I'm sure that there is a chibi dead mouse. Not necessarily the mouse you're looking for, but boards in there, saying stuff. Yes, Harold, thank you very much for that. I appreciate your continued support. All right, so then we got to go get F here. We need F21, F20, and then there. So we'll do F21 and F20 on both sides. We're building the core lander. That was that element happens in a few Gundams. We see this kind of like vehicle that you have to get into that then joins into the Gundam. In this series, it led for some exciting like, well, where's the core lander? Oh, it was under this wreckage the whole time. Now he's in the core lander and he can jump into his Gundam, which is cool. But yeah, there are some Chibi Gundam stuff. That Chibi Gunpla, between either your Gundam or just other robot mech stuff might be fun. I'll get more into it as we get close when it's anime time. But I did watch a mech series, the first episode that's out, that is kind of interesting and involves what looks to be a big cat mascot, but then a kid jumped inside of it, and then it became a cat mech, and that was cool and weird. And the show seems very weird. I don't know. It's called Planet With, and what appears to be the premise is there are heroes and there are monsters, demons or monster mechs, and you're a kid, but your thing is that you're going to try to take the powers of the superheroes, and I don't know why you're fighting the superheroes instead of just fighting the villains. But first episode does not make that clear. But you were definitely saved by them at some point and have memory loss. And I don't know why you are trying to, where the main character is trying to beat the 7 superheroes. But it seems pretty cool. But yeah, that's Planet With. I tried a few new shows. That one I'm definitely going to give another one to. I didn't get caught up on the other way because we're done with that. I did not get caught up on what's the show? Island. I still haven't watched episode 2 of Island because there was just a bunch of new anime that came out. I'm still really interested in Reunion, which is on Amazon Prime. Reunion seems pretty cool as far as playing inside a video game. Virtual reality inside a video game thing. I'm pretty into that. I will admit that I rewatched the first episode of Overlord, because I really liked that first episode. Instead of watching something new, I just watched it again. But I often do that with series I really like. I end up watching the first episode again before the second episode. Let's see, what else did I... We can do anime talk now. They built a mech. They built a monster mech. The monster mech. Indeed. Alright, so we've got our... Alright, so we got our lander here. And then we got to put this piece on top like this. That's... Most of our core lander is going to be done when I attach these pieces. Just lining this up right. If I can, trying to make sure I get everything accurate, so I don't have to use my tools to pop this stuff off. Great. All right. So that's attached. Now we just have to put this on B6. Now, obviously, usually I have my all my sheets on my folder, my plastic folders here. I have this out because we're almost done with this kit, and I wanted to get organized with the next kit and the labeling of that. So I just took whatever was left and threw it over here on the table, which is fine enough to do now and again. Got to make sure I know which side is up here. It'll be this side. Then, occasionally, these instructions leave something to be desired, and you just have to kind of figure it out as you go. There we go. Got there. Oh, Xandra just subscribed because Board threw a tier 1 subscription at him. Board, this is your second gift sub. Thank you so much for that. Thank you very much, Board. Xandra, welcome to Board. You can now use the Bear Cave emote that you created. Alexandra is the creator of both of our emotes, both the Bear Cave emote and the Bear Lego emote, which I'll throw up in there. That's very nice of you for that, Board. Board is second time has gifted a subscription, which is awesome. I'm downplaying subscriptions a little bit because I understand that a bunch of Amazon employees are currently preparing to strike, and I respect them for doing so. But at the same time, I got to buy model kits, and subscriptions help me buy model kits. So if people want to subscribe, they're more than welcome to. So I appreciate that. In response to your question, Alexandra, I am not currently reading any manga. The summer anime just came out, and that is kind of my fixation at the moment. Okay, so put that there, there. B7. The last B piece we're gonna put on here, and then we can throw this away. And then the last A piece will go on to that, which is the cockpit of our core lander. Speaking of anime, let's talk about it. I watched two shows that I watched 2 episodes of because I'd forgotten. I didn't get a chance to watch before Thursday. Let me look up the name of, so I'm saying it right. Cells at Work. Cells at Work is, the art style is very fucking cool. The premise is that inside your body, red blood cells, white blood cells, all those different parts of your body, your spleen, all that stuff, are like humanoid creatures, human-looking creatures that protect your body from parasites, which look like Monster of the Week from anime. And both episodes feature a white blood cell and a red blood cell who keep running into one another. And it is awesome. The white blood cell is shaded in such a way that he looks, he appears to be male. The shading of the white blood cell and white blood cells is so evocative. It reminds me of that black and white Wii game that Platinum put out. It evokes that kind of imagery. Whereas the other characters look more like, they still look cell shaded. They still are going for that look. They look computer graphically cell shaded, but the white blood cells just really stand out. Actually, Xandra, they just put a trailer out at Anime Expo, in the LA Anime Expo, that the time I got reincarnated as slime is coming out in the fall. Not yet, but it is on its way. There was a trailer that went out on one of Crunchyroll's panels, I believe. So that is coming, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so that's on its way. Yeah, you should be able to look up the trailer for that at some place. I don't know exactly where, but yeah, that's happening. And it's just like a lot of shots of like a slime doing big damage to things. And a bunch of people being pretty psyched about it. You know what? I don't know what C2 is for. Hmm, weird. Oh, that might go on. You know what? That might be on the neck. That might explain why the head is weird. I might have missed this piece. This looks like a head piece. So that would explain it. I can do a quick check of that. And finish our core lander here. We're almost done with this kit and start moving on. The manga like novels so much. They're a big inspiration. Yeah. Without knowing that they were big inspiration, I could totally guess that they were for you. That's awesome. But yeah, I think that's a fall season show. So Cells at Work looks really cool. The particularly the white blood cells look incredible. The art style is really interesting, and then just the premise is a premise that I enjoy. The idea of okay, so where does this go? Oh, if I do like that, I can attach this here. Try to figure out where these rockets go. The rockets go right there. Great. Um, but yeah, just the core conceit of Cells at Work just seems cool, and I'm interested in it. All right, so we'll do that head there. And then the other show that I was really into. Oh, Board, you checked out Homes of Kyoto. Yeah, I just don't think I want to watch another Sherlock Holmes thing, even if it's Sherlock Holmes anime. I just don't know if I have it in me, but I might check it out. As I said, there's a lot of anime. Like, I have not watched the second episode of the Master of Ragnarok. There's a second episode out. I just haven't gotten to it because, like, I kind of liked that, but I think How Not to Summon a Demon Lord is a better is a better show. So I haven't watched the second one there. Okay, so yeah, so when it's time for the God Gundam to do its thing, the core lander does this, which is a cool looking effect. But you can pop the core lander off. He's an antique appraiser. Ha. Huh. Okay. That's interesting. That is an interesting take. I'm going to fix this, and then we're going to get going on our next piece. Yeah, so that's the core lander kind of fits in there, and then normally is just down like this when he's just fighting. It's just the wings. And I'm going to fix the head here, because it looks like, yeah, this piece was supposed to go on, and I never put it on. And that would explain why the head popped off. Usually I'm not that egregious with just missing a piece. And then, yeah, head's on. Great. And that's our kit. That is the, I guess you can't, yeah, you can remove them, but you can't. That is our shiny, this is our God Gundam, which, so it lays flat. I'm going to take the rockets, I'm going to take the core lander off of it so that I can lay it flat down for photos and for storage. But yeah, that's the God Gundam. We really didn't have much left to do with that. We can put together two of the blades here. We'll do that. The beam weapons. God Gundam doesn't have many weapons. A couple guns on it. A couple beam katanas. And then because its main weapon is its hand burning right through its opponent's Gundam and destroying their core. Well, we got here. Board just cheered for finished Gundam bits. Appreciate that very much. Thank you for that. All that stuff does help. As always, anything I get through my Patreon, anything that comes in through subscribers, anything that comes in to my Ko-fi, all goes directly into me buying more model kits. I'm going to be making a couple purchases soon. There's some Lego movie stuff that looks cool from the Ninja movie line that I'm interested in. There's like a dragon that I'm got my eye on, and some more of the usual. So yeah, so the beam weapons just kind of sit on the part there on his sides, and he can hold it if I changed out the hands, which I'm not going to. Yeah, we got a beam katana. Yeah, and that is our God Gundam or Burning Gundam or G Gundam. from G Gundam. We'll put like that. And then you got some extra pieces you put back in the tab there. And I'm going to put this aside. We'll take a photo of that at the end of... actually, you know what I'll do? I'll take a photo of that now so that I can pack it away. And we can move on to our other one. But yeah, thank you very much, Board, for that gift. I'm going to take a photo of this here so that I can post it later. So we'll just take a quick... after every stream, I usually just take a photo. But I'm going to do this now so that I can pack it up of the finished product, which also goes to my Discord. I have a Discord. I'll link to it in about 40 minutes. I will put out the link to the Discord so people can join that. There's a space for people to post their photos. As always, if you're ever working on something, Twisted has been working on some stuff and sent me a bunch of photos. That person is currently building 2 perfect grades and was sending me photos as they were building, and it was rad. I was very happy to follow along with their progress. But you can always send me stuff on Twitter. I always retweet when people are doing stuff. It could be anything from, like, I assembled this bookshelf to I made this cake. You know, cooking is building, especially if you're following a recipe. So yeah, always be comfortable sharing that stuff with me if you are. I love to see it. I love to see what people are working on, especially if I had somehow encouraged it. So this is the Shenlong. This is the 2011 re-release. We know that, 1, because it tells us 2011, and 2, because it uses the Endless Waltz. Basically, once Gundam Wing put out the OVA Endless Waltz, they rebranded all of their stuff with Endless Waltz. It helps you know what year is put out. There's some English in this, which is obviously very helpful here and there. You know, we follow most of it. We have our shield and the fang and the arm, which is good and fun. I do prefer the 2 arms of later in Endless Waltz. I think it's just cooler because the arms are functional and they live like the claws are bigger and the coloring is better. But this is still a cool Gundam. As you can see by the photos, this Gundam does follow along kind of like, I just think there's 3 Gundams that are white, blue, and red. And you don't need that in a show with 5 main Gundams. 3 of them don't need to be the same coloring. So that's my opinion anyway. I never saw Angelic Layer. I think I watched... That's not true. I think I watched the first episode of Angelic Layer, but I never really went too deep into it. Yeah, I don't think I remember what it was about, but I just don't think I ever, followed through on that. Okay, so we need some XB and some XA. We are working on the body first, so that's going to be a lot of our X's. Make sure we go in there. As always, I've got I've got 6 of these here off to the side. They break down really nice and easy for storage, but allow me to separate my sheets conveniently. So we'll do XA, and then we need XB2 and XB1. So we need those as well, and we'll get going on putting together some shoulder pieces for our chest. Big fan of classic looking Gundams and not classic color schemes. Yeah, Mr. Bob, I totally feel you. I think I'm a little over mostly white as armor. Like, I'm just kind of tired of it. I like a good recolor. I like a good redesign, you know. I think the heavy arms going from mostly red to mostly blue is a beautiful color change. I think the heavy arms from Endless Waltz is such a great kit. It's such a great looking Gundam. Alright, so XA1, we need 22. Is that there? Reminded me of a lot of Gunpla, except mechs are dolls and they fight in an esport. Oh yeah, I mean mechs fighting in an esport. That's the last show. That's the last Gundam we just built, G Gundam. That's the whole show is an esport basically, a world tournament. It's basically the World Cup, only it's mechs fighting. And also build fighters. Yes, Mr. Bob, you are right. Build fighters is the idea of taking the classic Gundam idea, but what if piloted. One of the shows, it's definitely a show for kid, but Rockman EXE, and in the U.S. when they released it, they called it Mega Man.exe, is also that. It's part of the the series of games as well as the anime. I really liked that show because it was a kid show, but it was like my buddy Mega Man and my friend and his buddy Gutsman, and then oh no, Dr. Wily is Dr. Wily's trying to do some bad stuff, so now we have to do things to get to take care of Dr. Wily. I just remember really liking that. Okay, so we've got to do XB2. But yeah, it was a lot of like, we've got this controller, now we can fight in the virtual world with our friend Rockman and Gutsman. One anime that sorry, got here. Also watch Record of Mongol Invasion. Mongols invading in Mixin Samurai 7 or Dirty Dozen. Has a good, and we will gonna just go ahead and do that. As Board was saying, I haven't heard of Mongol Invasion. Uh, so that's annoying. Sorry, I just have to do a thing. Well, that's what our third time, fourth time ever having to get rid of someone. So that's pretty good considering I've been doing this almost a year. That's pretty good. Uh, MMA fighter Grandmaster could have just been a nice person just coming by that opened up with a stupid thing, but no interest in finding out that they were trying to be edgy. No need for that. Uh, yeah, so I haven't seen Record of Mongol Invasion. Has a film grain feel. You're not liking, but I'll try another app. Yeah. I mean, look, here's the thing. We are in a wealth of entertainment right now. Am I wrong? There is so much good anime out there at this moment that you'd have to try hard not to find something that you like. There's a bunch of different genres. Tetris Grandmasters. They're using it. So yeah. Just started on Crunchy today. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's so much new stuff. One show that's new that I just watched that I really liked is I'm going to look at the actual name. Here we go. Here, Yuuna. That's with two U's. And the Haunted Hot Springs. So Yuuna and the Haunted Hot Springs is you've got your main dude. He moved to a new town. He is a hands-on psychic, which means that he learned how to expel demons and ghosts, but only by punching them. Like, he doesn't have other kinds of magic abilities. He can detect ghosts, and he can exorcise them by punching them. Like, as soon as I heard that, I was like, yeah, all right, I'll give this a shot. So he moves into this hot spring that he hears is haunted, but he's like, whatever, I'll just do my thing. No big whoop. Turns out, pretty young lady there. And she is bound to a room in the hot springs that's now an inn that people are living in, like cheap housing. So he moves in, and now he's like, well, I don't want to banish you. I'll help you solve your unfinished business. And there's like the caretaker. The Hollow. Hello, Hollow. And there's some sort of drunk who is flirty, because of course there is, because it's anime. And then there's what appears to be a cat girl, and then also a ninja who is talking about purity of the room, and she doesn't like that there's like a dude there, because of course. And so it's obviously it is a romantic comedy type show, which is going to feature a lot of hijinks. When Yuuna gets frazzled, she doesn't have control of her powers, and she can throw things around and all that. She likes how nice he is immediately to her, because he's he's immediately like nice because he can see a ghost, but isn't freaked out or scared. And he's looking for cheap rent because he once or he got possessed by someone who ruined his credit, basically. So he's like, I need a cheap place to live. Yes, Xandra, there is right now. I can't tell if she's a cat girl or if she's just wearing a cat hoodie, but I think she's an actual cat girl. She might just be a cat hoodie enthusiast. I can't 100% tell for sure, but there's a lot of cool people, and the one who runs the inn uh, looks very young, is like an inn owner or whatever. Um, it looks silly and fun. I like the premise of an exorcist who just punches stuff to help. Um, I don't know. I'm into it. I think there might be something to the show. I don't know. Obviously, don't know for sure, but I am interested in right now in Yuuna and the haunted hot springs, and also there's a hot spring, and that's fun. That's fun for hijinks. But yeah, it looks to be a romantic comedy with supernatural elements that everyone accepts. And as you know, I enjoy my slice of life with supernatural elements. Yeah, it looked fun. It looked like a fun show, so I'm interested in that. And then the other one is what's the name of it? I watched more of Chio's School Road. I watched the second episode of that, and that's just a straight up good comedy, folks. That's just good comedy. Um, I am very invested in that show. Chio is just a schoolgirl trying to get to school on time who keeps getting run into bad situations and has to use her knowledge of video games. The first episode has like an A and B. The second episode has an A, B, and C. And it's like we're introduced to like a new friend. It's a very silly show, but the whole premise is just like stuff happens while she's trying to get to school. And usually it's her own fault, and often her own insecurities are leading up to the problems that she's running into. And she's very cute. And it's good. I do recommend it. I think it's a fun show. That's Chio's School Road, CHIO. And as always, in the YouTube description, the show description, I list all the shows I'm talking about. By default, if I don't say what it's from, it is from. It is on Crunchyroll. I usually make a point of saying if it is a show that is only on Amazon Prime, because by default I generally just watch stuff on Crunchyroll. Right now, the only show I'm watching is Reunion, and I didn't even watch the second episode because, like I said, I think on Thursday I said this show feels like the first couple episodes are going to be dark, and I just wasn't in the proper mindset for dark. Which is why I'm glad there's some fun shows out there. Which is also why I watched a bunch of that the hamster Amaru-chan show, because I just wanted to laugh, and that show was very funny. And my friend and I had been discussing that it's the little sister anime. And even season 2 for real goes hard on the everyone's got a little sister as a premise for a show. You got me doing a rewatch of Gate. Oh yeah, bored. Okay, yeah. That was one of the shows that I thought Dan would like. I still think he would like it because its mix of fantasy elements with cool guy stuff is something that he'd be into. All right, and then our first rubber PC piece. This kit is going to be pretty standard. It is, it's one of those Gundams where the left and right are pretty identical except for the accessories, and then eventually the arm is different. But for the most part, this kit is, pretty symmetrical and simple enough to put together. But yeah, we got our cockpit there. Sandra's here. I look across the results. Yeah, Alexander, I'm happy to have you. I don't really push this with people that I talk to often, but it is always nice to have a friend here popping in, especially because next week my schedule is going to be kind of up in the air. I will be in San Diego. I'm leaving on Wednesday. I will endeavor, as I said, on Thursday to just do a check-in, let you know how it's going with me in San Diego, how my first day was, and I'll talk about what's going on. And then that Saturday I hope to stream. What we got going on here? All right, let's talk about it. PAX West panel submission stuff went out. All three of the panels I submitted got accepted. There was only one that I was actually wondering if they were going to want it or not, and they did, which is very awesome. So I am not doing 404ing it. I am taking one show off from 404ing it because it is a lot of work, not just for me, but also my guests have to do a lot of work. It's like the most work I think. I can't believe how much I have to ask of people. And the last one, which I still think has its high highs, also has kind of some low lows, and it's not their fault. It's my fault. But it just didn't come together the way that sometimes 404ing it does. So, I'll go into San Diego in a bit. Xander, I'm going to San Diego Comic-Con next week for Oni. So I'm going to be there doing interview stuff for Oni Press and doing some booth stuff for them, and then just visiting. I'm going to see Aaron. I'm going to hang out. That's going on in San Diego next week. Me in San Diego. But yeah, panels for PAX West. So we'll announce everything, but basically Friday night at 8:30 in Hydra, I'm going to be doing let me see, F6 and F9. Okay, let me get F out again. So Friday night, I'm going to be doing. I'll announce my guests once they confirm because it's over the weekend, so it's hard to get confirmations. But I am doing another round of the improvised postmortem Friday night at 8:30 in Hydra. It'll be streaming on either PAX 2 or PAX 3. They have not told me which it is. I have asked, and as soon as I know, I will tell people. So that's coming. And then Saturday night. Oh boy, Saturday night's all right for fighting because League of Heels is having their show Saturday, also at 8:30, also in Hydra. So you know where to be Friday and Saturday night of PAX West. These are West Coast times. They will be streamed. I don't know how long that one's going to be. I don't know if we have an hour or an hour and a half. I'm investigating. But that is that's the Saturday night panel. Is that I'm very excited about that. I think that's going to be very cool. E2. So yeah, those are ones. A night show. Philly goes, yes, Mr. Bob. We have been asking for it. So we kind of announced it somewhat, but we're not doing a Rumble at West. We're going to do the Rumble at East next year. So we're just doing a show that involves people, but it doesn't involve 37 people with production and people performing. It's going to involve 16 people. So it'll be or 20 people, maybe 20 people at the most. So we had more flexibility. And I said that, we've always wanted to do a night show. We took the 2-hour show the other year at PAX instead of a night show. And night shows are also hard because we got to involve Jeff, right? Jeff also isn't, I don't know when Giant Bomb's panels is going to be because he's in two 8:30 p.m. panels. So all I can assume is that Giant Bomb is at 10 p.m. Now, don't take take that with a grain of salt. I literally don't know, but I am assuming that he is at that they must be at 10:30 or 10 o'clock because he is in two 8:30 panels. Because Jeff is doing, as always, the postmortem, because he's incredibly good at it. So yeah, this is always a weird piece to put on, so I'm just gonna put it there, and I'll figure out in a minute why that didn't go in. Then we need E9 and E5. Yeah, sometimes the pieces around the cockpit here are a little tough to get on, so we'll try that. Oh, and then my third panel, which people might be interested in hearing about. This is me talking about it for the first time. I'm going to make all my announcements next week once I get confirmation from folks. Is that on Sunday of PAX West at 11 a.m. in the Hippograph Theater. So it's not streamed, but it'll be recorded and you'll be able to watch it after the fact. I will be doing a brand new panel that is called the Build with Baer Workshop Lego Challenge. That's right. I submitted a Build with Baer Workshop panel that I'm doing at PAX West. Scheduled to appear, waiting for 100% confirmation, but I'll tell you right now, is Abby Russell and Charlie Chio from Oni. You might remember Charlie from 404ing it at PAX West last year. Charlie is my good buddy. He's the reason why I'm doing things with Oni in the first place. He is a lover of Lego and Gunpla. And so, yeah, I wish that one was streamed because y'all be able to watch it live, but it will go on YouTube. So we'll be able to, you'll be able to see it. There might be a third person involved. I'm waiting to find out if that person is actually going to PAX West or not, because as of right now, they don't know if they're going to PAX West. But if they're going to PAX West, they have an open invitation to be on the panel within reason, because I have to get the kits. But the premise is, Charlie is awesome. Charlie is a wonderful person, a great advocate for marginalized voices in comics, and just generally a good, solid friend, and been a very good friend to me. But yeah, Charlie. So the premise is, I bought 2 kits. They're small. They're like 87 pieces. Builders don't know what it's going to be. We go. It gets revealed. They get to build it. Whoever finishes their kit first can then start going. Once you finish, you can go into the bonus bag. I've got some bag or some box that's going to have a bunch of bonus pieces. So that way you can then be creative and do it. And then the audience is going to vote for their favorite via clapping, but it doesn't matter who wins because everyone won, because we fucking got to do a cool, fun panel. So that's the basic premise. They don't know what they're going to build. There's some stuff to work out. There's conversations around the idea of, should I include the instructions, or should you just build it off the back of the box? Which is a fun idea, but might, or maybe if you donate to charity, you get the instructions, like in the heat of the moment, if you suddenly want to get the instructions for it. Something like that. I don't know. But we're going to do it, and then Eric, yeah. So, Alexander, yeah, you should message Eric. I know that Eric is going to film my panel, because I usually just I'm just going to rip the version that goes up on Twitch, so that's out there. I'm just going to do that, and then I will, of my other stream panel, and then the Build with Baer I'm going to have filmed by Eric, because I also want it to be filmed live, because I want a camera that goes to, I want an overhead camera, so I'm going to have someone tall with a pole hold the camera above the action, and then I also want someone with a camera, and then we're going to be able to go pay to win with charity. Yes, that is, there was a Scrabble tournament that John Hodgman used to be a part of, where you could get cheats if you donated money to charity, and then everything else was for charity. And I've always kept that idea in the back of my head, because I really like that idea of cheating for charity. I always thought that was a cool premise. So so maybe we'll do something like that. Or I'll like have the instructions in pages, and if people donate, like, or pledge to donate, then I can give certain people the pages or something like that. Maybe we could do something. We could. That's also the future. We might just want to, like, just do it so that I can proof of concept that it's going to be a fun panel. Yeah, I had messaged Jeff in submitting, and I haven't heard back from him confirmations. But that's a busy gentleman with stuff going on. So I kind of just like, I don't know. He said yes to my to panels before I submitted. So now it's like, okay, if there's a conflict, I'll find out. That's a busy dude. There's a few people in my life that I'm resigned to the fact that they're just like not gonna reply to emails, and they're hard to track down. I jokingly said that I was unfortunately very busy today because I would have gone to the gamer. There was a conference today in New York, the Game Developers of Color conference, and I unfortunately could not attend. But I was joking that that would be the easiest way to go find uh, the easiest way to find Austin Walker, because I knew he was going, would be for me to go. Then that'd be the easiest way for me to go say hi to Austin, who was also incredibly busy. But yeah, I unfortunately could not go to that event, but I heard very good things. And a lot of it, I think all of the panels are on YouTube. So if you look at Sean Allen Alexander's um, Twitter feed, you can find information about watching some of those panels because I'm sure that they were all very good. And I'm going to check out a few of them tomorrow in my downtime. All right, so we put this on here. One thing I'll say about the Shenlong Gundam is the breastplate looks fucking rad. The colors are very cool. It's a very cool looking kit. Um, I will say that that's the thing it's got going for is extended arms are fun. I think the trident, the beam trident, is cool. But yeah, that chest piece just looks rad. You can see that there. It's just cool looking. And then cockpit pops in for the cockpit. Uh, yeah. Oh, Alexandra, no, obviously you've got to heal at your own pace, and yeah, I'm sure they would have loved to have you there, but you got to heal. It's healing time for Alexandra. Um, yeah, so I'm heading to San Diego next week. Kind of can't wait. I'll treat it somewhat like a vacation. I will be doing video stuff um, for Oni's YouTube and for their Twitter account. Talking to creators who are making things, kind of giving overviews of it. It's my first San Diego Comic Con, so I'm very excited about heading out and doing that and seeing the sights. I'm hopefully gonna get a little Aaron Trites time in, so that'll be good. Aaron, I have not seen since PAX East because he moved to San Diego. Not that I went to Boston, but there's always the chance you run into people at things. But yeah, so I'm going to see him uh, when I get out there. Should be good. Okay. So these should slot in here. Rings. Clips a little bit here. A little more character for this Gundam. And then this piece is very tiny. So I'm going to attempt to use the tweezers. I have this kit here for those of you that haven't seen this before. I have a kit basically that one would use for basically you'd use this for iPhone repair or smartphone repair, but it has plenty of spongers and various other things that I have found very useful for this kind of kit building, for model kit building. Okay, so then we follow the instructions. We are building it like this. Oops. And the goal, yeah, I can hold this with snipper clips, but I run the risk of my snipper clips. You run the risk of actually cutting into the piece. So, all right. Apologize for suddenly being quiet. I'm going to trim this just a little bit here. Just the tiniest bit. Make sure the piece is matching right. Yeah, I'm just trying to get this piece locked into place as best I can. I will, a Bearcation, yes. Yeah, it's San Diego Comic Con will be partially a vacation because I don't have any panels or anything. I don't have any events planned. I didn't even book shows to go see. I'm playing everything by ear, and mostly I'm there to work, there to do interviews for Oni, which is also mostly in the morning. I'm going to find a couple things to do for them in the afternoon, but my afternoons are going to be spent walking around, trying to not to spend all my money, but to spend some of my money. Hopefully I'll find a kit to build, because that would be nice. Alright, so I'm trying to get this piece in here. Doesn't seem to want to go in. And does not seem to want to lock in place. It keeps popping out. So I'm going to see if I can trim it a little bit here. Apologize for this taking a little while, but sometimes that happens. Alright. Let's try that. It's just a very tiny piece. You can see it. It's very, very tiny. Keep speed running on a purely hormonal. Alright. Get in there. Okay, it's in. Did it. Nope, popped out. Okay, so this piece does not want to stay in place. So we will move on. And then in my off hours, I will attempt to trim it down wherever it needs to get trimmed down so that it fits better and stays in place. But right now it is going to keep... Oh, maybe that did it. That might have done it. Okay, we're going to leave it like that. I think we did it. Great. So, sometimes you're like, I'm going to give up, but then you don't. All right, I'm going to take a sip of water before we move on to the head because we completed our chest. So I'm going to take a sip of water. Pardon me. Sometimes you're like, oh, actually I'm incredibly thirsty. Oops. That's one of those times. My sip of water was like a third of that water bottle. Apparently, underneath the bright lights here, I'm a little dehydrated. But I will drink a ton of water once the stream is done. We're about halfway through our stream today, so it's time to take a little bit of a break to promote stuff. Now, as I said earlier, I understand. Folks are not thrilled with Amazon right now for good reason, thus also Twitch. Totally understand that. So, if subscribing to my feed doesn't feel good, subscribing on here doesn't feel good to you, I understand that. I totally and 100% understand where people are coming from. If, when I mention the wish list in a minute, that's not something you're comfortable with right now, I totally get that and understand. Money I make through Twitch and through my Patreon, which I'll put a link to there, and my coffee, my Ko-Fi, all of that feeds directly into me doing more of this. I would love to get to 3 times a week streaming. There's no way I can afford to do that now that I'm doing 2 hours at a time. I would add like an hour on a weekday of building, but I just can't do that right now without more support. So that's one way to do it. I have the Amazon wish list. I'm going to make a purchase soon of some stuff I'd like to build. But anything anybody builds for me, you buy it on my wish list, it gets sent to me. You don't have to worry about that. It gets sent to my address, and you don't have to see it. And you can do it anonymously, or you can have your name put there. Anything that comes in there jumps the line as far as building goes, and I immediately build it next because I want to honor the fine folks that have supported me by purchasing things off my wish list. There's some Lego stuff. There's some of the Dragon Ball figures that I would be interested in building. Still really like to build that Vegeta in a pod. I think that would be a fun build. Yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff on there. Old kits, new kits, big expensive kits. And at the bottom, some tech stuff that would be nice to have, but isn't really necessary. And then I've got my coffee, or my Ko-Fi. I just never know how to say it, but that's right here. And any money that goes into there directly goes to me building things. Um, in I'm gonna try to buy something in San Diego because it's fun to buy something and bring it back and then build it when next available. We did that with the tall geese. Now I got a good price on that tall geese when I was out there, so I'll certainly I'm gonna go to Bandai Namco's booth, and I'm probably not gonna buy their San Diego exclusives. Actually, I don't even know what that is. Let's look at that right now while we have a moment. Kiki Bandai exclusives. Let's see what those are. Oh no. Is it Dragon Ball? Let's see. Oh, Power Ranger thing. Don't care about that. Baymax. That's not Tamagotchi. Oh yeah, there's more Dragon Ball Stars series. These look very cool. There's a Goku with a costume that looks really cool. Um, there's a Scouter that looks neat. Power Ranger stuff. Okay, right now, Bandai, this list I'm reading does not have mention of Gunpla. But I'm sure that they always have an exclusive Gunpla, and I'm sure I will look at it, and it will be too expensive, and I won't buy it. But there might be another store that I buy it. While we're taking a break, because we'll get into it, here is the link to the Build with Baer community, which is our Discord. I check it every day. People post stuff they're working on. The building photos subgroup is a little lively right now. It's kind of cool. Johnny, aka Smash Mouth, is in there posting some cool stuff. And then one thing I'll mention for a little bit is a Teespring shirt done by Orahack, which you should check out. Erica is a fantastic artist because it is a Gunpla shirt. It is a girl Gunpla shirt. Now, I don't know if I would wear it. It's kind of not my thing as far as a thing on a shirt, as it is a schoolgirl. That's kind of not my scene. But it's fucking cool looking. And Erica is fantastic, and I'm thrilled to support her. Anyway, and as a bunch of Gunpla fans in there, it might be a fun gift for someone, or it might be fun for you. I just don't know if it would be a thing that I would wear outside of probably streaming. Like, I would probably wear it on a stream, but I don't know if I would ever wear it out. Kind of. That's where I'm at with that. But you should check it out because it's cool. Let's see if there's anything else I should mention before we get back into it. Look at my Google Docs. I got a Google Doc open with all the stuff. No, and that. Oh yeah, I did mention the Master of Ragnarok and the Blesser of Einhajar, which I'm saying wrong, I'm sure. I like that it didn't start. It started with a bunch of things that already happened and then kind of filled in the details, and I liked that. I didn't watch the second episode because I'm not as thrilled with it. We'll get back into building. Thank you for putting up with the ads. I appreciate it. We did have the hollow say my body in constant state of nah, you're fine, even when I need water. That's not good. The hollow. You gotta drink that water. You gotta find out. Oh, am I thirsty? Oh, I am. All right, let's build the head. We got the chest. We're gonna put the chest aside. Gotta put this head together here. We need C, and we need A, and we need F. So we'll do that. We need C1, and then A, and then F. So we'll find what we need for that there. I will say this: we're not, we've done a little bit of pieces. This blue, I love how vibrant this blue is. It's just a great color, and it really does make things pop on this kit, as you can see, like the back of the kit there. It's a good blue. I am in favor of that version of blue on this kit here. All right, so let's get back into it. Yeah, I talked about on Thursday. I talked about how not to summon a demon lord, which I wish it was less. I wish there was less harem about it and less boob fixation. I really do. Because the idea of, especially the discovery is made that this world that feels very much like the video game world that the main character was a part of before he got brought into this one. He's like, there's some differences, and he finds out that one of the biggest differences is that because there's no respawning and there's no like teleportation skills and stuff, that everyone is kind of underpowered or where they should be if they were actually in the game with him. Um, and so he understands why he has such an advantage going into it. He didn't understand before what that was because he's clearly stronger than anything they've ever seen. Like people are freaked out about how strong he is. He's stronger than a guild master, and people were like, that shouldn't be. I don't know, but like I said, it's also like he's like wake up with his arm on someone's boob, and it's just like okay, hey, what if this anime wasn't horny? I wish this anime wasn't so horny. There's a time and a place, and I'm fine with it. Like I said, I'm gonna watch Yuuna in the Haunted Hot Springs. A lot of jokes are gonna be accidental, seeing people in state of undress and getting hit. Like it's the Love Hina thing. It's the thing. It's anime. I know that's coming. Like I'm prepared for that, but it's pretty excessive in every waking up in a different world anime, and I'm kind of over that part. I'm a little past it. I'd like to be past it. Which is why I said I always really liked Dog Days, because Dog Days like felt very like, especially because all the characters were young, like it was something where like, oh, these two characters accidentally kissed, and then for like 9 episodes, the dog of Claire hated the like champion because they accidentally kissed, and she was like so mad about it, and also into him, but like it was fine. Um, like that show was pretty much not like booby, and I enjoyed that. So one of the reasons why when I talk about Laid Back Camp so much, I mean obviously Laid Back Camp is just a good show full of good characters and rules, but also it like there's hot springs things that aren't meant to be like sexual or aren't meant to be suggestive, and there's like them sharing baths, and that's like not. There's no moments of that. The most is like there's like a joke about I'm spending time with my boyfriend, and one of them being like hurt and being like, "You have a boyfriend?" He's like, "No, I don't. What are you talking about?" Um, yeah, like it's nice to have a show that's like not sexual at all. Another anime that is similar in that respect, um, that is a slice of life that is not etchy at all, is Flying Witch. Flying Witch, like the most suggestive thing in Flying Witch is that like uh, his cousin, who doesn't come around that often, thinks that uh, the main dude and his childhood friend are like a couple, and just goes ooh ooh. It does it like real long and really long, like oh ooh, and it's like really silly and weird, and it just feels like a weird moment, and that's it. That's it. That's the only thing in it that's weird. Uh, Xander makes the excellent point that Yuri Camp is so good. It's damn good. It's it's such a great series. It's such a good feel good series. Uh, I mean, obviously, I'm a broken record about it, but I mean, down to the fact, as always, it's such a good show because one of my favorite parts of it is that no one's wrong in the way they camp. Rin likes to camp by herself. Nadesco likes to camp with groups. Neither's wrong. Both go for it and like it. Uh, the old guy that camps alone, spoiler alert, that is related to a character, he's just doing his thing. He's doing it right. When they're all together with their teacher at the end, Everyone is doing that right and nailing it. Oh, it's just such a good show and so fun. Cute dog. Not enough of that dog. That Chihuahua should have been in more of the show. That's the only thing. Let's see. So right and wrong go out the window because we're camping. The Hollow. That's not what I meant, and you know. I'm saying that another show. I know that you're kidding, I do say this. Um, oh yes, Zandra, the gentleman they assume that is the teacher's boyfriend, who then turns out to be her sister, and then they're like, oh, it's a brother, they're related, and it's like, no, that's the sister, and she's just like a cool lady that camps. Yeah, there's the cool lady camper that likes to camp because they did it as a family, and then she just kept the tradition going. Yeah, there's just a ton of great characters in that show. All the minor characters are awesome. Uh, Such a brief appearance from Nadesco's dad, but I instantly was like, I love that dude. I love Nadesco's dad because it's just Nadesco, but like a dad. Uh, yeah, I wanted I wanted more cool grandpa. Um, I love how Aki is like um, she just does impressions in Nadesco and is like just like a little scamp, but like means really well. She's like a little bit of a prankster, but like not there's nothing bad about what she does. It's all from the heart. She's just a good-natured person. Uh, yeah, there's so many great characters in that show. And hey, am I saying it's awesome partially because there are so few dudes in the show that the most you get from a dude is there's like a male teacher that is around a little bit, and like I mean you only see reaction shots from uh Rin's weird hairstyle from like two high school boys. There were like no high school boys in that show, and like that's fun. It's kind of cool that there's like it's a show about like camping ladies being cool camping ladies. There's like the guy who owns the liquor store, uh, and Nadesco's dad, and the teacher that was kind of like somewhat in charge. But it's just like, yeah, this is a fun thing. I like a good look, don't get me wrong. I like a good anime about male bonding. Um, the school babysitters show from a couple seasons ago, or 2 seasons ago, that was almost about was like some dudes figuring out how to be babysitters at school and feelings like that show made me cry, and it's beautiful. I got a place in my heart for that, certainly. But yeah, every now and again, anime about ladies, pretty good. Um, and we finished our head. Now we could have added a sticker. There's room for a sticker in there, but that's for other people that are not me, because I don't do it. Lego decals, I'll give that a go. Stickers, no thanks. One of the things when I want to talk about new game to people that are interested in folks of the non-binary and female persuasion that are looking for some anime to check out, I often talk about New Game because it is a show where the only male characters that ever have lines is there's one character's younger brother who shows up like 3 or 4 times in 2 seasons, and there's a Power Ranger-like character that talks for a little bit in one episode. And that show is all about women getting stuff done, making games, and it's like just a chill, awesome show that I'm always that I really love. I think the second season isn't as good as the first. The OVA is fantastic of New Game. It's just them going and spending some time together on a trip, and it's just like really fun, unless everyone kind of play their game. Uh, but yeah, I really enjoy. I just don't like. I'm a bad fan because I don't like new characters. I don't like when a bunch of new characters get introduced. It's always when I feel the weirdest about a show is when they're like, and then these people are here too. Like, uh, oh no. No game, no life is very different from new game exclamation. It's new game exclamation point and new game two exclamation points for the second season of the show. That's a different show from no game, no life. Very different shows. Very different. Um, no, what was I saying? I was talking about that, and then I was gonna say another anime. I can't remember. Damn it. If you remember what I was about to talk about, let me know. Um, oh, yeah. I don't like the introduction of new characters in a show. That's what I was going to talk about. I was going to rant a little bit about that. Um, Sometimes it's awesome. No problem, the hollow. I like to be able to interact with y'all, obviously, so it's no big deal. Because also, I got back on track and remembered what I wanted to talk about. But yeah, I know that new characters are important because they breathe life in the show, and characters you've gotten used to get to react to these new characters, and it leads to new interactions and new fun and new spontaneity. But if a show is 12 episodes long, I do not need a new character in episode 8. Or like uh, Achikochi, which added 3 characters at like halfway through the only season, and it's like get out of here. I don't want these people here at all. I don't need this. This is gonna be less time to focus on the characters I do like. Um, Good Job Club added a new person, and they literally have a moment in the show where the main character is like, she's like, "What about me?" And he's like, "You don't matter." Which is like interesting that they do that, kind of break the fourth wall a little bit, but also, well, then don't put that character in. Don't just break the fourth wall and have that moment. Maybe don't create that character. I don't know. I know it's important, but yeah, new game they introduce like 2 new young characters, and it's like important, but I also kind of don't care about either of them. Because you end up with less of the characters I do like about, especially in an ensemble cast. Like, if you have an ensemble cast show, when you start adding new characters, it does take away from the other characters that are on the show. Especially because I always really love minor characters. Like, it's tough to know that they're going to be in less of the show, so that we can see more of these new people. If that makes sense. I think it does. Alright, looks like we're building shoulders here. These arms will mostly be the same, with a few modifications here and there. I'm happy to report that an hour and change into our first recording, we've had 0 drop frames, which is incredible. Yeah, we've seen 0 drop frames. That is fantastic. I dropped the bit rate down a bit and tested that this afternoon, and it worked fine. Last 3 streams we were running into some drop frames, and it was becoming annoying for folks. Bade Ridge says, "Yo Pat, since it's anime hour, what's your favorite 90s anime?" Shit, I am now literally writing in 90s anime to look at a list. Like, the problem is that, like, is anime that came out in like 99 like gonna be considered like Gundam Wing rules, right? But also, like, Cowboy Bebop is 98. So should I count Cowboy Bebop? Because Cowboy Bebop fucking rules. Yeah, like, Wing is 95. I'm looking right now. I mean, hey, Samurai Pizza Cats, that was 1990. That's pretty good. No, I'm not going to put in that. But Yeah, I think like I don't know. That's tough. The '90s are look a lot happened in between '91 and '99, and I think I might lean towards more of the late '90s stuff like Cowboy Bebop and Trigun, because that stuff is iconic and wonderful. Uh, uh, but also like Gundam Wing fucking rules. I'm building a Gundam Wing kit right now, and G Gundam is great. Um, and Sailor Moon is awesome. I mean, Sailor Moon is a touchstone for so many people. Such a beautiful, beautiful series that like meant a lot to a lot of people. Um, I have such high respect for that show. All right, so we're building our shoulder here, working on our shoulder joints here. So let's get those pieces done. We'll look at we need 5 and 3, and then 4 goes on top. So there. Trigun is great. Trigun is a really great series that I think like grows into itself. I think it's like it earns its drama because so much of that show is kind of silly and fun. Um, that I think it really does earn its deaths, its sadnesses, uh, its really fun moments. I think it does earn those, even if they do kind of come out of the blue in some spots. Um, yeah, but I mean, Cowboy Bebop is it's just an incredible piece of art. It's just unbelievable that it exists. So like, it's just the soundtrack alone is just unbelievable. There's like I think there's 3 or 4 CDs. There's one CD they just put out that's just like the radio stuff from the show. There's a bunch of like incredible music. Um, from Cowboy Bebop. That's just yeah, unbelievable music in that show. Totally worth checking out if you've never seen Cowboy Bebop. Uh, it's an unbelievable show. Animation is incredible. Character work. The dub. I mean, the dub is so good. I don't go around complimenting dubs every day, but it's incredible. It's so well done. Just great voice talent, all in all. I think the movie, which I generally enjoy the movie, I think the voice actress in the minor character in that isn't great. I think she might be the worst part of any of the dubs. Um, but uh, but yeah, but it's still incredible. Oh, so yeah, I really do. There's some such good parts of the. I do think that that Ed is better dubbed than subbed than dubbed, I should say. I think her voice actress is just really cool, and I think that I prefer the Japanese Faye Valentine. I think her voice actress is superior. Um, I mean, Spike is awesome. Dub Spike is rad as hell. There's no denying that. Uh, and Dub Jet is great too. Kenshin, Rurouni Kenshin is Samurai X, as the OVA that came out was called, and the video game, the PlayStation video game in the U.S. Um, the Rurouni Kenshin is a fantastic series. Uh, I have never read all of the manga. I know the manga continues. Obviously, I mean they go on for 100 episodes or whatever, but the manga goes even farther. And I've heard very good things about that, but just never got around to it. So there are shoulders. We're gonna start working on our arms, more of our arm pieces here. We need some XB pieces. This is again stuff we can do on both sides. I'm gonna check my phone, make sure I don't have any messages. I don't have any messages. That's good. Part of it might be that I'm not a huge fan of the sound of Japanese. Well, okay. I mean, That makes sense. Um, the only thing, oh, we do, oh, and we got some drop frames, so that's a bummer. We had our first drop frames. Hopefully, that will be the only time we run into that. So that's a shame. We finally had a hiccup, but we were good for a long time. Whereas Thursday, it started immediately. So I'll take this. I'll call this a victory. That was definitely a victory, even if it happened. Yeah, I mean, the hollow, I'm going to take it as just that, like, it's not something you've kind of gotten used to and speaking patterns and all that. But yeah, it is a kind of an odd thing to say. For me, anyway, um, I'll say that to be fair, um, as somebody who's been watching this year for the first time ever, I mean, I've always watched martial art films, but Chinese anime, Chinese animation, that does take a second to get used to get the, you expect to hear one thing and you do hear something else, and that is taking me a few moments to get used to. I've been a little uh, a little bit of a learning curve with watching some uh, Chinese animation. That's some of the animation is done with English or with Japanese companies for sure, but the voice acting is Chinese, and that's taken me a little bit to get used to. I can understand what you're saying. That it sometimes seems over like a lot, but yeah, I mean that is just a style of speaking for some people. That is how they speak, and also like you know there is a similar thing in some ideas of what children's animation is here in the U.S. Like children's animation, there is a style of how people talk and sound. So when they break that, it's pretty interesting, but it's not always the default. Um, there is a style of sounding of Japanese in animation that's different from normal volume. If you watch Japanese dramas or a Japanese game show, it does sound different. It's just patterns in the way things pick up. It is interesting sometimes to kind of look at that. Um, but yeah, it's stylistic stuff. Uh, all right, so we need to. Oh, we're doing the right arm here, so we can put this aside. Focusing on the right arm. We need PC10. This PC10 is over here. Some hard plastic or hard rubber and plastic. It's like a combination. And XA 15 and 13. 15 and 13. Okay, 15 and 13. Hmm. Right, that spoken Japanese in anime is faster than say in a drama. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. I mean, that's my interpretation of it at the very least is that it's there are a lot of tropes in conversation in anime, and obviously anime has its own like kind of structure and has its own like styles and choices and things like that. I think there's a lot of like things that are just part of the commonplace vernacular for anime that if you're not like super invested in it, you're like, wait, why did that happen? But wait, why is that happening? Why is this the thing that's happening here? All right, so this goes like this. This goes in here, and then I need to make sure that I do this right. This goes like this. Just as always, once I do it on the other side, it always goes way faster. But sometimes this is similar to a lot of kits as far as how the arms look. So this isn't anything. This honestly is not new. Like these steps that I'm doing right now, I will do a dozen more times over the course of me building model kits. Um, D115. Okay. Hey Pat, did you see Anime Detective Sungwon has been posting the set of season 2? Yes. Uh yes, the nosebleed bit is a commonplace. The nosebleed of the sweat drop. Sweat drop is obviously very important in manga. That then just made its way over to anime, but certainly started in the world of manga as a way to convey what was happening in the scene. Because you just do the same panel over again, but add a sweat drop, and suddenly you're saying a lot of information and saving a lot of time. Yes. So, uh, 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 yes, in the fountain nose move. I did want to say, Mr. Bob, I did see Anime Detective. I thought it was fun. I do like that. It's a concept. I think it's a really fun idea. I think the execution, like, I'm excited for season 2. You know, Sungwon is doing that. It was part of. It helped for him to move out to L.A. Um, so I'm excited for him to get to do more cool stuff like that. And yeah, it looks interesting. I'm hopeful that it's just as funny. There's some good actors in it, so that's always nice. And yeah, overall, it's pretty fun. So I'm excited for their second season. Uh oh, brain problems. Yeah. Um yeah, I think that's like a weird thing about, like you don't know them. If you don't know the history of them, they just seem so strange. Like but a lot of the tropes you see in animation are obviously just shorthand uh things that like we just take for granted that they take for granted, but were just added to like, yeah, this means this, and you're like, oh, that means that, huh? Okay, I'll buy that. That's an easier way of saying that thing. What am I doing wrong? All right, sorry. This goes on here. This is like this. This should go like this, but it doesn't. Why doesn't it? Hmm. As always, sorry, folks. Sometimes I just don't know why a thing isn't working. Should be like this. Nope. Nope. This should just slide right on, and there it goes. Got it. Okay. Honestly, yeah, that's not the first time that's happened. Sometimes getting these pieces locked together is just you're like, why? But why? Why won't you just work? And then it just does. Uh, I want to give a shout out how cool the new Leo kit is. Did not know it was a Gunpla Evolution kit. Oh yeah, it's beautiful looking and very cool. Um, do. Okay, these are very tiny pieces here. Another very tiny piece that I should be able to get in pretty easily. Hopefully, it'll go in without much trouble, and I won't have to use the tweezers, but we'll see. All right, that went pretty good. Okay, I'm going to take another sip of water, and then we're going to keep going. Uh, oh, yeah. That is really cool, Mr. Bob. That sounds like a cool kit. I have to investigate that a little more because I don't know too much about the ongoing parts of that particular kit right now. Whoops. Just knocked a sheet to the floor. Luckily, it landed directly on my foot, which is helpful. Easy enough. All right, we're almost done with our right arm here. We got to add a couple more pieces, and then we'll be ready to connect them, which is good. We're making some good progress on this kit. We will pick up where we left off in 2 weeks, basically a week from this past Thursday, where we will, because next Thursday I will be in San Diego for San Diego Comic-Con. Still have some time left in the stream, so don't worry about it. But, I will be in San Diego, excited to go do that and hang out. Uh, that'll be fun. And the next Thursday I will do a How's This Been Going stream. And then the following Saturday, if I can't get it together to do a actual build stream, which I'm going to try to do, not this kit, but something else, something I can travel with. If I can't do that, then I'll do another, like, how's it going, check in with y'all, hang out for an hour, answer questions kind of a stream, with the idea that I will be able to be back the following week with building, and we'll get back into doing all that. But I don't want to just miss 2 streams. Can't do that. If you haven't checked it out, on Monday, I will be posting on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear, another episode where I play through Syrup and the Ultimate Sweet, which is by Nom Nom Nami. It's a creator on Itch. They have made a few games that I have played that I've very much enjoyed. And so I checked out one of their games, and I've kind of been playing through. I'll have an episode on Monday, and the following Monday I'll have another episode of that. I decided I did that back to back today because I will be out of town and didn't want to record on my laptop. So figure out if saves transferred or anything like that. So instead I just did 2 episodes. We'll do that in a row. And that should be fun. Yeah. And this goes. So now we're just putting together a hand here. We need D 13. All right. Yep, just putting together a hand. You know how that goes. Pretty self-explanatory for this style kit. And we have options here. We can do X7. We can do closed fist. We can do open palm. And we can do ready to hold a weapon. And as always, we are going to do ready to hold a weapon. So that's 1. Because this kit has some cool weapons, so we're going to make use of that. The actually looks rad. I'll give you a unicorn that actually glows. So yeah, that would be pretty fun. Oh yeah, the Gunpla Science stuff is fun. Yeah, that is some cool stuff. When they're just trying out things and put out the experimentation kits. Yeah, that is cool. The XEO does look pretty rad, Lashbrook. You're not wrong. Okay, so we got a hand here that we'll attach to this in a moment, I'm sure. We got to put these in there, and then we got to add, ooh, in the middle. Oh, some of this looks cool. Yeah. My Amazon wish list does have a death scythe in it. It is not Amazon Prime ready. Got to pay for shipping. It is something that I'm probably just going to buy myself in a couple days so that I have it, because it is the Death Scythe Custom, not the Hell Custom, or not the Death Scythe. Blah, blah, blah. It is the Death Scythe Hell. Not the Death Scythe Hell Custom. The Death Scythe Hell. The second Death Scythe with the double blade. There was no master grade of this kit, but there is a 1/100 scale high grade that I am probably going to end up buying and get that shipped to me. It's not that expensive. I want every Death Scythe. None of y'all get those. Those are for me. So, since, if I buy it with my own money, then I don't feel bad about that. But I am looking at that Death Scythe uh, because that's a great looking kit. It's got the shielding. It's not the full wings. It's the fold up and fold down wings. I love the Death. I mean, I love every version of the Death Scythe rules. I think the big bat wings with the one big old blade again is great. I love the Buster shield drone. There's so much about that kit that I just really enjoy. So I'm fine with getting another version of it. Um, Although I wish that I could get good shipping on it. But yeah, my wish list has a few cool things on it. So if that piques anybody's interest. Oh, hello, Warrior. Welcome to the Bear Cave. Popping in, throwing that up there. We are working on our Shenlong Gundam from Wing Gundam. We put together an arm and a chest and a head. Now we're doing the other arm. So we'll get that going. It's been a good kit. Finished the God Gundam. That was good to finish. Happy we finished that. Ready to work on this kit as well. As always, just making sure that I'm doing this right. This goes with this. This goes here. These go. All right. Yep, that snaps in place. We just did this a couple minutes ago, so it all should come together pretty straightforward and self-explanatory and work. We did it! Hooray! And then we need E and D to come in here. So we'll get D2, we'll do 114. Yeah. This was the piece that didn't want to slide down well on the other arm. Maybe it'll be a little bit nicer to us on this arm. I don't know. Looks like the official kit that you purchased separately from the unicorn. Oh, yeah. Part of me wishes that I had gotten the LED lighting stuff to work on the Wing Gundam Perfect Grade. But then also, my sanity is happy. I was happy that I did not lose my mind trying to do that. Because that would have been a little tough for me to get done. Just my own. Just knowing myself, I just know that that would have been a tough kit to do. A tough thing to pull off. I tried getting the wires to run right and just did not want to cooperate with me and my ability level. But I'm psyched when I see people with it. But yeah, the lighting stuff is just not, or just wiring in general, using screws, all that stuff. I've got another perfect grade there in the wish list, but I just don't have the patience really these days for it. Still love to do it, but I just know my own preferences here. Okay, so this is going to go in here. Now it should just slide right down because that's what it's supposed to do. When it did work, I was surprised. Because it was fighting me for so long. Oh, I'm sweating. Wow. Ooh. There's some sweat coming through. Alright, did it. Got it. Good. Alright. And then this just slides in. There we go. Did it. The Pacific Rim high grade is a big opening inside its chest for one. Huh. Uh, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't end up ever picking up that Pacific Rim kit. It looked really rad. It just was just never happened. I did look at it. Yeah, didn't end up getting it. So we need this other A piece here. It went from like pre-order forever, and I never pre-ordered it to like out of stock, and then I just kind of lost interest in that kit. But it looked pretty cool. I could see someone customly putting a big light in there, having it look rad. All right, so that went in. Let's see. Okay, so we did that. We did that. Now we got to put on C2, which is this piece here, and we'll almost be done with our shoulders and our arms here. We're gonna build the hands again. We just built, as always, comes together fast when you have already just done it. Know what you need to do. And we'll just build the hands the same way we just built them. Okay. And that, yep. All right. And this goes in like this. Gotta go. Keep up good work, Pat. Thank you very much, Alexandra. I will be in touch with you about League of Heels stuff when I have more concrete information. Literally, just honestly, at the moment, waiting for someone to get home from their European vacation, and then I'll have more information available for you. But thanks for coming out. I might not suggest it for you, Pat. You don't like small pieces of HG, and it has much smaller pieces than regular HGs. Tiny bits fun place. Yeah, that doesn't sound good, Mr. Bob. I don't generally enjoy tiny pieces in my model kits, so that does sound like a thing that I would not enjoy. Yeah, that sounds bad. Like I might actively dislike it. So maybe it's a good thing I didn't get that kit. Alright, we're getting some arm stuff together here. Many, many hands making it happen. Some hands here, some fingers. Doing the whole thing right. I think I gotta get a finger from XB and then which is sorry here 16. So yeah, I'm gonna try to keep up on my anime so that at least that next Thursday I can talk to you about that stuff. Talk to you about what's going on with me. I think I didn't build until things start coming together, huh? Yeah, that doesn't sound great, Mr. Bob. But yeah, please follow me on Twitter so that you can hear when I will be streaming next week. My goal is to do Thursday and Saturday around the times I normally do, because it'll be like 6 o'clock Pacific time. Like, isn't bad. I might end up having to stream later on Saturday, later than 6 p.m. Pacific time, like just because of scheduling. But I'm going to try to do a hangout on that Thursday, let you know what's going on with Comic-Con and what's going on with me. And then that Saturday, I'm going to do my damnedest to build with y'all. Like, that's what I want to do. I just have to get it together, get my act together and find a place where I can stream, which I think I'm going to be able to do. Like, I legitimately, this is not hyperbole. Like, I have favors to ask, but one of the favors I have to ask, like, I think is going to come together. So I think I'll be able to do a build stream. Now, what I'll build is these McFarlane Adventure Time like scene things. They're like fake Lego. They're kind of look cool. I got them very cheap at Toys R Us as they were closing. They were very inexpensive. So I got one that I thought I kind of like was like, oh, I can save this for a rainy day. I could put this together without any other tools. I could always bring it with me to like PAX or something. And what ends up happening is I'm bringing it with me to um, there it goes, to San Diego because I think it'll be a good thing to build there. So yeah, so that's the plan. Hopefully, I will be able to do something super cool there. Um, that's the plan anyway. But you know, at the very least, I'll be able to tell you what's going on with me, and we'll be able to hang out, and it'll be like I'm building, except I won't be building. I'll be just being there. Canada, yes, I had heard that the foreclosure, the closing, the bankruptcy was a money thing here in the U.S., but not in Canada. Um, yeah, you still have them there because it's a separate like thing. Actually, it might be a separate Toys R Us, like the way that the money was split when it was purchased by the company that just buys companies to use their debt to pay off their other debts. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I do know that like in some parts of the world, I think maybe in Canada, but there's some parts of the world where it's still EB Games and not GameStop, which is always funny for me to think about because like it's been GameStop for so long, but yeah, it also isn't. That's fun for me. Um, all right, so we finished our arms. We're gonna put our arms and our head on our shoulders, which is cool. We'll just get that done and be ready to move on to the next thing. Put our head on here. These sometimes don't necessarily like to fit, but sometimes they go on nice and easy. It's always a pleasure when they do. It is EB Games of Canada. That's right. Remembers when game stores were not garbage. I mean, look, software, etc. For a long time, that was just where you bought your Tomb Raider big boxes, your big stupid boxes of Tomb Raider. Uh, and there were other things you could buy. You could buy things there. It wasn't the worst, the end all be all. All right, that's gonna do it for this episode. I'm gonna call it a little early because I need to pack some of this stuff up for my trip next week. This camera here and the stands are going with me to San Diego. None of the other equipment is going with me because I'm going to make use of the stand and my laptop for things. So that's the goal anyway. Probably should bring the. No, I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, that's it. We got some work done here. I'm happy with that. We will come back to it next week. As I said, keep checking twitter.com/PatBear. I might send a message to subscribers as well. Just be like, hey, this is what's happening on these times. If the Saturday stream is different than normal, I'll definitely try to reach out to y'all and let you know because I don't want to leave anybody in the lurch. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And I'll see you from San Diego. Goodbye.